Okay, guys, good morning once again. And after completing chapter number one, that is evolution of management, and chapter number two of nature of management theory and practice, today we are going to start with the chapter number three, that is corporate culture of the management. Okay, it's basically divided into five different points and it's talking about culture and conflict. Let's start with the working. 3.1 Introduction. Culture is sum of the total activity performed in context and location. It is behavior, attitude, value. It is limited to a social structure of society, such as housing society or an organization. Organization is a social structure where people work together for the economic growth. In organization concept, it can be defined as a set of value attitudes and beliefs that determine how people interact with each other internally and adopt the external environment. It is developed over the years for the collective traits of the people hired by the organization. Fine. Corporate culture. Organization culture is evolved from. Corporate culture and organizational culture is one and the same. Leaders' vision and action influence individual in organization, work ethic, organization policies, etc. It is displayed by values adopted by the organization management, approaches to the people management, relationship with shareholders, relationship with government, relationship with society, relationship with customers, and so on. Understanding the culture will help to improve the individual performance and solve the problems quickly. The concept of the corporate culture came into an attention in 1980 and as early as 1990. Okay, let's put this 1990. Okay. American manufacturers failed to compete with Japanese manufacturers. At that point of a time, the culture came up into the situation. Due to the modernization, it is necessary for the organization to adapt internal and external changes. Coordination, integration across the organization, product strategy, process and innovation, efficient management of the workforce diversity, cross culture integration in the business unit, facilitation of the teamwork, all came into managements. Performance of organization is largely dependent upon the corporate culture. So this is your introduction. Let's go to 3.2 corporate culture. Corporate culture can be defined as the pattern of shared life, shared values, beliefs, assumptions, and working habit of the people working in an organization. It creates a working environment of an organization, interaction between element and department, interaction between the process and function of organization. Now there are some definitions given by the book. First is Martin and Martin's 2003 defines organizational culture as a system of a shared meaning held by members of the distinguished organizations from other organizations. Arnold 2005 defines organization culture as the distinctive norms, beliefs, principles, and ways of behaving that combine to give each organization its distinct character. According to the Edgar's question, organization culture is a pattern of basic assumptions invented and discovered or developed by a given group as it learns to cope up with the problems of the external adaptation and internal integration that has worked well enough to be considered valid and therefore to be taught a new members as a correct way to perceive, think, and feel in relation to those problems. There are seven characteristics of the corporate culture given by the Hofstede in 1990. The culture is first holistic, not limited to a single individual or a group of individuals. Two, historical, passed through the traditions and customs. Stable, it can't be changed easily. Ideas, values, beliefs, traditions. Social phenomena, different group from different culture. Qualitative and not quantitative. Anthropological words like myth, ritual, symbols are common. Ways of thinking, values, and ideas. So the culture is basically having these seven characteristics. Let's see the role of corporate culture in an organization. People interaction with each other as per the cultural norm, creating a sense of belongingness. Corporate culture enables employees to relate themselves with values, beliefs, and philosophies, making them more committed and attached to the work and organization. Corporate culture defines standard code of conduct, creating a set of norms, process policies, rules, and regulations. So this is what your corporate culture definitions and characteristics given by the Hofstede looks like. Let's go to the dimensions of culture. Multicultural work environment is now very common. Business have gone global now. This gives us an impact on a cultural difference among the different groups of organization. Difference in culture may impact the performance of an employee. Difficulty in communication can generate different geographic conditions are also available there. It's of a significant importance that a manager learn how to deal with different culture and increase the productivity. These different elements of culture are called dimensions of culture. Two most used models of dimension of cultures are Hofstede 5-dimension culture and Trompena's 7-dimension culture. Let's see each details. Easy नाम क्यों नहीं रखते हाँ Hofstede 7-dimension of culture. Okay, so this is the Hofstede 7-dimension culture that is given to us. There's cultural dimensions: power, individual collectivism, masculinity and femininity, uncertainty, avoidance, long-term and orientation. Let's see. Developers by the Dr. Greet Hofstede researched for 10 years in 40 countries, provided 4-dimension culture. Fifth one was added later. The model goes invalid where there is no more than one culture in a country. Hofstede 5-dimension culture: power and distance, individualism and collectivism, masculinity and femininity, uncertainty, avoidance, long-term orientation. Power and distance. It refers to the degree of the inequality exists into the particular country and is accepted by the people. High power gap, countries where the distance is high, unequal distribution of power and accepted by the people. And low power gap, countries where the power distance is low, power is shared well among everyone, accepted by the people. Malaysia is reported to have a high power distance along with the compensation and respect. Australia is reported to have low power distance along with good teamwork. Individualism and collectivism. Individualism. High importance to the personal growth is given. No relations with anyone apart from the immediate family. Example, US and Germany. Collectivism. Tendency of a people to treat themselves as a part of a larger group. Example, Panama and Guatemala. Masculinity and femininity. Division of role in genders of society. Culture of society is influenced by the masculinity and femininity. Masculinity, values like achievement, power, materialism are given value and priority. Femininity, values such as compromise, life quality, friendship are more important. Example, Japan for masculinity, Sweden for femininity. Uncertainty and avoidance. Degree of tolerance towards uncertainty and avoidance. High on uncertainty. Those who are high on uncertainty and ambiguity like to be governed by the rules and regulations. They try to be safe and secure. Example, Germany. Low on uncertainty, deals easily with the changes and challenges. Less rules and regulations are required for them. Example, Denmark. Long-term orientation. People, now this was added later. People willing to value the long-term traditions, high long-term orientations. People willing to adapt those value and traditions that will prevailing in the future too. Example, Japan. Low long-term orientation, stick to the tradition they have been in the past or present. Example, Africa. So this was your given by the Hofstede's 5-dimension of culture. Now let's go and understand this Tropena's 7-dimension culture. So according to them, Tropena's 7-dimension culture, yes, universalism versus particularism, individualism versus communication, specific versus diffuse, then nature versus emotional, achievement versus aspirations, sequential time versus synchronous time, and internal direction versus outer direction. And we have to learn this all 7 points if it comes into the big answers something. Developed by the Trumpers and his friend Hampton's Turner. I'm sorry with the pronunciation, I cannot pronounce these hard names. They were Dutch, model good enough to analyze the cultural dimension, applicable in developing cross-cultural communications also. Trompena's 7 dimension of the culture are individual versus, that we just read, this 7 points. Let's go for individual. Universalism versus particularism. Regard to the rules and laws. Universalism. People have a high regards to rules and laws from the relationships. They like to be governed by the rules. Example, US and Canada. Particularism. People believe in forming social relationships. They have no concerns for rules and regulations. Example is Russia. Individualism versus communitarism. Regards to the freedom to individualism, freedom to individual people to take decision, promotes creativity. UK. Communitarism believe in group decisions, group goals first as compared to the individual goals. Example, Japan. Specific versus diffuse. Regards to the connection between the personal and professional life. Specific. People tend to keep their personal and professional life different. They follow the set rules to attain the following objective. Example, Germany. Diffuse culture mix up their personal and professional life, form bonds in the professional life too. Example, India and Russia. Neutral versus emotional. Regarding expressing emotion and connecting people. Neutral, not very comfortable about expressing themselves. They limit their interactions. Example, UK and Sweden. Emotional, they are easily connected. They are easily get connected to everyone. Easily express their feelings. Example, Italy and France. Achievement versus ascription. Regarding to achieving goals and rewards. Achievement, people with focus on achieving goals and rewards. One's position and power doesn't matter. Example, Canada. Ascription, people have high concern over the position and powers. Achieving goals are not important, doesn't matter anymore. Example, Italy. Sequential time and synchronous time. Regards to the placement of events. Sequential times, events that are planned in sequence one after another. US. Example, US. Synchronous time, people focuses on the flexibility to do whatever they want to do and whenever they want to do. Example, Argentina. Internal directing versus outer directions. Regarding to the control, internal directing focus on self-controlling and environment. Example, UK and US. Outer direction want environment to control them and rules and regulations. Example, China. So these are given 7 different dimensions of temperaments. Let's go to the 3.2.2 and that says types of corporate culture. So how many types of corporate cultures are there? So mechanic culture, organic culture, authoritarian culture, prescriptive culture. Okay. Mechanic culture or mechanist culture. Static in nature, based on strict rules and regulations, based on bureaucratic management, no communication of doubts and problems to superior. Decisions on top management are passed to the lower management. Change is not easy here, does not allow change in the structure, lack of creativity. Example, school, college or university, auditing firm or law firm. Now let's see the organic culture. Organic culture, focus on the completion of task. Organic culture, creative in nature, importance of teamwork, employees are free to share their ideas, flexible working methods, promotes innovation. Example, Google, Facebook, Instagram, etc. Okay, now let's see the third part, that is participative culture, promotes total participation. People are more important to task. Encourage people to share their ideas. This minimizes the changes in an organization. Open flow of communication. Lesser formal rules. Example, Southwest Airline. And we have then authoritarian culture. Top level management take all the decisions. It is considered to be the top level management have full knowledge. Lower level just have to follow. If they do not follow, they will be penalized. Example, New York Times or defense systems in any country. So these are the different types of culture that are available. 4 different types of culture: mechanist, organic, authoritarian and participative. Okay, 3.2.3. Now we are coming here on 3.2.3 that says component of a corporate culture. तो एक corporate culture का component कैसा होना चाहिए? So there are basically 4 different corporate culture components are given. That is vision, values, practice and people. That's why I said it VVPP. Okay, vision. Let's say vision. Vision is needed for a strong corporate culture. Vision provides direction to the employees for developing and adjusting the corporate culture. Values. Values are the heart of a corporate culture. Values are set up to belief and ideals set up by the individual. Values develop a behavior and attitude of an organization. For example, Tata Motors values innovation, customer satisfaction, and integrity. Practices. Values are of no use if they are not in practice. Organizations have to provide a platform to employees to practice these values. These practices must be reviewed from time to time. People, last section. People, corporate culture without people believing it is not going to make any sense. These peoples are either develop the culture, and the new recruits are chosen with a cultural belief. Example, if a bureaucratic culture of an organization, they will select the people with the same values. Organization should help the people to adapt the culture. So this is your basic 4 components of a corporate culture. Now let's go to the conflict part. Okay, so conflicts between the corporate culture and administration. They are both important. Individual comes from different culture. They have various ideas, beliefs, and values. They all come together to interact. This may result in conflict. The cultural creates impact on the personality of the individual. The personality of the individual affects the organizational culture. Organization needs to create an environment where all different cultures are accommodated. Organizations have to take care that there is no discrimination on the basis of caste, color, age, sex, religion, or else they will be harmful in the future if the employees will start to search for the next opportunities. Some other kind of conflicts that may arise are types of conflict: interpersonal conflict, intrapersonal conflict, intergroup conflict, intragroup conflict. Okay, so these are the different types of conflicts. Just a minute, I'll just align it so that in the printing section it goes well. Okay. Yes, interpersonal conflict. Let's see all these 4 types of conflicts available here now. So let's go with the interpersonal conflicts. Conflict between 2 more individuals in the same department or same or different department. It's called interpersonal conflict. That interpersonal conflict can be further divided into vertical conflict, that is manager and subordinates; lateral conflict, that is between 2 individuals of the same level; diagonal conflict, conflict between the different positions without any supervisor or the cross department. Okay, that's interpersonal conflict. Now let's go to the intrapersonal conflict. Intrapersonal conflict between 2 individuals having a different values, thoughts, ideology, and belief. That's intrapersonal conflict. Okay. After interpersonal conflict, we have intergroup conflict. Conflict between 2 different groups, maybe formal, maybe informal. And intragroup conflict, conflict between the group itself and the group ke andar hi. So there are different kinds of conflicts available, and this all conflicts are interpersonal, intrapersonal, intergroup, or intragroup. Okay, so these are the conflict between culture and administration ka first point. Let's go for the conflict resolution. And this is very important. Again, conflict हो गया, अभी उसको resolve कैसा करेंगे? So yes, whatever kind of the conflict happens, it puts an impact on organization. The impact on organization may be negative impact or the positive impact. The impact on organization are determined by the way the management handles the conflict. So the management, to handle the conflict, they have given us a different ways to do it: competing, collaborating, avoiding, accommodating, or compromising. And it is just like a SWOT analysis wala part, a passive, assertive, uncooperative, or cooperative, whatever the strategies are. Let's see each of them in detail. Avoiding. The people simply avoid the situation by changing the topic or denying the situation. This way is taken when the members are not interested in conflict resolutions but to avoid it at all together. There can be many reasons to avoid it: not want to hurt others, not wanting to stress out, or do not want an unnecessary load. Avoiding. Accommodating shows high concern for others. They give up on their points for the demands. They give up on their points and their demands for others. तू बड़ा, तू जैसा बोल रहा है सही है. Next is competing. Let's go competing first. highly assertive in nature. They stand for what they know and want. They dominate others to resolve the conflict. They stand opposed and don't accommodate others' point of view. We all know someone like this. That's competing kind of collaborating. In this kind of a resolution, people are willing to work together to resolve the conflict. They listen to each other and try to find out a solution which suits them both. This is a win-win situation for the both involved in conflict. The best way to solve any conflict. This is right, the best way to solve, but how many of us do that? Compromising. In this format of resolving the conflict, parties try to satisfy their needs to an extent and leave the rest as a compromise. Looking towards the major objective, they compromise the present needs. Okay, this should be the present needs. It's done when both parties are strong and have a deadline over them. So this is your conflict resolution techniques. So what are 5? Avoiding, accommodating, competing, collaborating, and compromising. Yes. So this is your conflict resolution. Let's go to the 3.4, and that is corporate culture and communication. Good communication is a key to the corporate culture. Effective communication helps in running the internal process smoothly, establish positive relationships, motivate employees to achieve their target or goals. Employee will be able to adapt and social culture only when there is a transparency in communication. Good communication is necessary for the good corporate culture. Good communication involves two-way communication, that is top to bottom and bottom to top. Good communication. Okay, just a minute. This should be good communication. Good communication is a key to good corporate culture. Way to improve good communication: more than one channel of communication, repetitive messages, effective listening for the receivers. Receivers should give feedback by the question or queries. Now, way to improve communication: 4 points. Managers must handle problem arises due to the cultural difference. Okay, so this is a corporate culture and communication. Let's go to the 3.5, human resource and corporate culture. So this, okay, I'll arrange this later on and I'll send it accordingly. Organizations have a different people with a different beliefs and value work together. This causes a conflict as they do not understand the corporate culture. This can be managed better if the employees are aware about the corporate culture as soon as they join in the organization. This can be done by the good HR practices, something that HR will do. Performance management, compensation and reward system, recruitment and selection, training and development. Now this is what the human resource people are supposed to do. Practices reflecting in the corporate culture, how they participate in the corporate culture. So performance management, compensation, reward, recruitment and selection, training and development. Let's see each of them. Performance management, an ongoing process of setting performance benchmarks for the employee and communicating the same to them. Okay, just a minute. There's not bench back, this should be benchmarks. Okay. It gives an opportunity to the employee to share the ideas and innovations that will help the employee to improve their performance. A good communication of expectation and support from both the sides creates a very healthy corporate culture. Compensation and reward system. Reward and recognition are very important in increasing the performance level of employee. Employees are very keen to perform well so that their work is recognized, appreciated and rewarded. It is an aspect, if this aspect is absent, the employee is not keen to perform the best he can, so it will affect the organization. To create a positive culture, HR should always keep the policy of reward and recognition on the basis of his performance and behavior. I don't know if they do it on performance and behavior. Recruitment and selection. While selecting and recruiting or acquiring fresh talent, HR professionals should consider the cultural aspects also. Alongside qualification, HR professionals should see how is he or she in regards to the cultural differences within an organization. If a particular candidate is having a different values and culture from the organization, then it will create a challenge for management to get the things done from them. First, Human resource professionals should themselves clearly understand the culture aspects of organizations. I doubt how many HR executives do that. Training and development, another important way to create positive and connected cultural values in an employees as per the needs of the organization. To develop a better culture, a training program should consist of a code of conducts, ethical values, behavioral conduct, communication channel and rules, conflict management. Human resource professionals should keep development opportunities as per the needs of the management to create the culture of growth and development. Okay, so that is the responsibility of human resource management to complete that up. So these are the entire points of management theory and practice subject ka third chapter, that is corporate culture. What I just did is into the head point sections, I've just write down all the head points together. So this is like 7 characteristics of Hofstede 1990, Hofstede's 5 dimension of culture, individual masculinity, etc., etc., type of corporate cultures, and Thompson's 7 dimension of cultures, components of cultural corporate culture, types of conflict resolution techniques, HR practices reflecting corporate culture, and role of a corporate culture in organization. So this is the entire chapter in a short page. So that's it for today. This is third chapter. I'm sorry for getting this all late because I was not feeling well, so I didn't record it for a long time. But this will be coming shortly onto the website also. That's it. Take care. Bye bye. Have a nice day. Happy studying.